Shopping sucks. Didn't used to suck, used to be kind of cool, but now it super duper sucks. Yet for some reason, our society still is obsessed with the concept. In 2023, total retail sales reached about, $7 trillion. Big number. According to my research, there are 12 zeros in a trillion. Numbers do not need to go that high, that's ridiculous. Now there's a lot of reasons why shopping is such a big industry. Maybe because, for one, if you don't do it, you will die. You can't just start a denim farm and make your own jeans. Or maybe you can. How do you make denim? What is denim made of? Why is it blue? No, instead you have to go to a store and pick a pair of Levi's off a table while 20-year-old nihilist looks at you, and they judge you heavily in a way that you don't even have the vocabulary to describe. And listen, as much as I like blaming late-stage capitalism for literally everything, the human need to just buy shit for the sake of buying shit is ancient tradition. As far back as 800 BC, Greek merchants would set up markets in open spaces called agoras, and these were like the original outlet mall back when Nike was an actual goddess of war, and not just a store full of the worst shit a company could produce. How come Nike never puts cool shoes in their stores? How come they're always like $80 grandpa shoes? But regardless, unless you want to be a weirdo out in the woods who makes his own clothes out of squirrel hides and grows his own food to varying degrees of success, you have to shop till you drop. The joys of global economy. And somehow, we as a society have turned this pastime of narcissistic monetary release into one of the most frustrating experiences a human can have in the modern era. So get in the car, everybody, we're going shopping, and we're gonna bitch and moan every step of the way. Brick and mortar stores started in the 18th century as what we know as mom and pop shops. You know, mom and pop shops, those things that existed before we all collectively gave up on the American dream. Apparently, the term brick and mortar comes from the Charles Dickens novel Little Dorrit, which I've never read. Obviously, books are for nerds. I've made that very clear. Anyway, as the American economies got more affluent over time, the American people gave up on mom and pop shops for the idea of the fancy department store. The original department stores were classy joints like Macy's and Bloomingdale's that featured gardens, tea rooms, and full-service restaurants. Now, I know what you're thinking, Tucker. Recently, I went to a Macy's, and it was super sad. It was like a rundown cafeteria in a abandoned middle school. It smelled weird, the floors were dirty, and me and the one other customer in there had a very bad time with our experience. But I would suggest to you, viewer, to look around the next time you're in one of these stores. You will see remnants of a bygone era where these stores used to actually be super duper fancy and have cool things going on in them. Especially if you visit one of the department stores in one of the bigger cities in this nation. Like, hey, editor, put up a picture of the Chicago Macy's. It's almost like a Catholic cathedral. It's just a shame that over time people have stopped caring for these department stores, so their drop in quality makes sense, but it's sad. Used to be cool though. Used to be a thing that rich people would do, and now it's just some dude doing the fentanyl in the belt aisle. Moving on from department stores, let's talk about what usually surrounds them, being the mall. The mall, just like the Cinnabon that belongs in its food court, is the definition of too much of a good thing. These started popping up in the 1950s, following the popular trend of destroying small businesses and erecting giant cathedrals to capitalism in their place. Maybe I gotta slow down on the shit-talking capitalism thing. It's getting really preachy, and most of the time I don't know what I'm talking about. Do not take political advice from Big Tugg. The mall, in its essence, is a feast of the senses. It's like a reverse sensory deprivation take. The sound of distant children yelling and shoe cleaners yelling at young couples fill the air. The smell of food court teriyaki chicken and Yankee Candle blend together in the most horrific of ways. And the brightly colored logos of each store clash together in a wave of antagonistic aesthetics that make your eyes bleed. Everything that the mall is doing is trying so hard to make you spend money, and yet somehow is doing the exact opposite. And yes, they are trying, but there are some things that come with the mall that I personally just cannot forgive. I mean, first up, we have the mannequins. Those freaky fucks. I hate these things. The whole time you are in a mall, you are acutely aware that these fucking faceless monsters are staring at you around every corner. Doesn't matter whether you're in Victoria's Secret or the Big and Tall store, these things are omnipresent, they are everywhere, and frankly, they are disturbing. These humanoid abominations are what I assume the creator was warning us about when he told us not to play God. These freaky things wait around all day for their perfect moment when the mall closes and they can start walking around and sexually touching each other, because that's what they do. It's like night at the museum. If you don't know, that's a scientific fact. They walk around. But despite the obvious issues I have with these fashion statues, the mannequin industry is somehow worth over $5 billion in the US. So if you wanted to join me in the fight against mannequins, just know we have a lot to go up against. Of course, sometimes mannequins are useful in a sense. In that sense being they can really rock the shit out of an outfit sometimes. I'm not above going into a store like Uniqlo and seeing a mannequin wear an entire outfit, and I just buy every piece off of that thing because I think it looks dope. But then I remember every mannequin's proportions are that of a 1990s dream body, and I have the body of a blown out milk carton, so it doesn't, I put it on and I look like an idiot. Look like I'm wearing a grandpa clothing on my shoulders, so I have weird proportions. I'm a 30-30 pants. No, you can't find that. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring today's video. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen meals right to your doorstep. Factor helps you avoid takeout by giving you delicious and nutritious food that is ready quickly, which is good because I spend so much money on takeout. The meals make it easy to eat healthy, so you never have to opt into something that's not good for you, which is great because I eat like a raccoon, but I'm lazy. Factor meals arrive pre-prepared and ready in 2 minutes, perfect for a busy lifestyle, or a lifestyle for somebody who is just lazy. I'm a very lazy person. It's also extremely flexible, so if you're having a bunch of buddies over to watch the big game, you can just order a bigger portion so that everyone can eat while they're screaming at the TV obnoxiously. So I already ate one of these when the box was first delivered because I was very hungry and I wanted to try it out. I got ahead of myself. But for the footage, I'm gonna make some jalapeno lime chicken, and it's gonna be delicious. You're supposed to stick it with a fork so it doesn't overheat, but I already did that because I'm a professional. Just gotta microwave for 2 minutes. Hot, hot. Ooh. The vibes are still good. It's actually crazy delicious, and I can't believe it's healthy, which is, I guess, a selling point. I got a full meal in 2 minutes. What did you do today? Probably nothing. You should get Factor. I love Factor because it takes the guesswork out of clean eating, which is something I've talked about before. I hate how many weird rules there are to eating healthy. So head to factor75.com or use the link below and use code BIGTUGG to get 50% off your first order. That's 50, that's half. That's half the money. Factor, eat healthy and be lazy. That's not their slogan. Free slogan, once again, all for you, Factor. Speaking of clothing that don't fit me, let's talk about the fitting room. Between this and the bathrooms, it is truly the last place an American can go to do drugs quietly in a place of their own. Now, everyone has their own style and game plan when it comes to the fitting rooms. Some people treat this area like their own little personal catwalk, trying on several different outfits and asking their friend who is waiting politely on the outside if they think it looks good on them. A move that I would never in a million years have the self-esteem to do. And then there are those like me who quietly get into the booth holding a size of pants that could only be defined as wishful thinking, squeeze myself into them, look in the mirror, realized I made a huge mistake, and then walk out quietly as if I didn't just waste 20 minutes of my time. Also, I feel like there are a lot of questions that come with fitting rooms that have not been answered to me. First of all, a lot of fitting rooms have rules that I do not understand. Why do you give me a little number when I go back there? I didn't order a sandwich. I understand that you count all the things that I bring back there just in case I walk out wearing 3 pairs of pants all of a sudden and trying to steal those things, but having a little gatekeeper at the front to silently judge me when I go in there with 3 items and decide to buy none of them really hurts my feelings a lot a bit. Also, when I decide I don't want to wear these pants anymore, or God forbid underwear, do you wash them? Do you wash them when my dick has been in a pair of jeans? Or do you just put them back on the rack and then it just accumulates dick prints over time until someone goes home with a 20 dick pair of slacks? Also, is there anything more awkward than making eye contact with someone else who is also using the fitting room? Like right before you both go into the little booths, you make eye contact, almost saying, hey, we're about to both be dicks out in this little room, only separated by a piece of wood, so let's have this moment together. Just a shameful experience all around. Just something I would rather just eyeball it and return it when it eventually doesn't fit on me. Another aspect of the mall, or any shopping experience of the matter, is the security people. And I use that term as loosely as I can. Everybody, calm down. We need not worry. If you are concerned about getting crimed in this Bed Bath & Beyond, just know we have one of the best and brightest on our side. An underpaid joke of a security guard. You'll see these guys at the front of the store staring at their phone and generally doing anything but their job. But what is their job, you ask? Sometimes they have a gun. You'd think that they would be equipped to handle situations like assault or theft, would you not? Well, in reality, it turns out that these guys' job is to just be somebody who can call 911 really quickly. That's all they do. The mall police slogan is very different from cops, because cops are to serve and protect, and actually, the mall police slogan is intimidate, and if that does not work, don't do anything else. That's their game plan. They're really just there to dissuade people from stealing, and if you've been paying attention at all over the past couple years, that's not working. That's not working at all. According to the National Retail Security Survey, retail theft cost stores $112 billion in 2022. They're not even employees of the store. They're contracted out to each store, so they have no affiliation with the building they're in. All they are is a shirt that says security, a bottle of mace that they're not going to use, and the first one out of the door at the sign of trouble. And if you're wondering why I'm being so harsh to these people, just know that I have secondhand accounts of these people being less than fucking useful, being absolute pussies. We're not gonna get into it. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, let's talk about the checkout, another terrible part of shopping. It's time to buy that shirt you'll never have the confidence to wear and get the hell home. But in order to do that, you're gonna have to go through checkout. That's not gonna be easy. That's gonna be a whole issue for you. The checkout line is retail's final boss. You will be asked a dizzying array of questions that serve no purpose other than to annoy me, I suppose. Questions like, did you find everything okay? Would you like a bag? Would you like to make a charitable donation? Are you a rewards member? Would you like to sign up to become a rewards member? At Zoomies, do you want that on your your permanent record being a Zoomies reward member? Could you answer this survey when you get home? Let him know how much I pissed you off. If there's a God, why does he allow suffering? A string of questioning that I am confident that the retail person's only doing because upper management told them so, but Jesus Christ, it makes me so goddamn angry. I'm just trying to buy some socks. And that's just assuming you've gotten to the counter by now, because there might be someone in front of you. And every time someone's in front of you in a retail checkout line, they're the dumbest fucking person on earth. How did they get here? Did they drive? And God forbid they're up there with a return. Oh my God, how come people cannot figure this out? I don't want to generalize, but for some reason, everyone who's making a return at a retail store is somehow the least capable person on the planet. You have an old woman with no receipt and nowhere to be, trying to return half a waffle maker she bought in 1932, not from the same store, versus an apathetic minimum wage employee that would do anything to give this woman her money and make her walk away as quickly as possible. But due to store policy and the fact that everything this woman is saying has no merit and she's completely in the wrong, they can't help her at all. There's no telling who's gonna win this battle of wits, but I know who's gonna lose. You, who's sitting there for 20 minutes. Unless it's Costco. That's not really the kind of store we're talking about today, but like, you can return a half-eaten hot dog to Costco and they'll just take it. I don't know how they manage that, but it's a great business model. So at this point in the video, I didn't really have a real place to talk about what I'm about to talk about, so I'm just gonna talk about it. What the fuck happened to CVS? What's going on with CVS's? I mean, I'm saying CVS, but I'm in general, like, drugstores. CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, whatever in that category. Whatever you call it, the experience is the same. It has all the aesthetic and charm of a dollar store that sells insulin from the back room. The entire building is carpeted with pre-90s design, and I can't think of one place I would want a carpet than a building full of people who are sick and trying to get medicine. And all the fluorescent lighting, it feels like you're visiting someone in a maximum security prison. And despite the fact that everything you go in there for is an extremely personal purchase that you wish no one else to know about, at drugstores in America nowadays, they keep everything behind glass. And the only way to get behind that glass, you gotta call over someone to help you out with that. Long gone are the days where you could buy lube and condoms worry-free. Now you get to push a fun little button in your aisle that puts something over the loudspeakers along the lines of, "We have a degenerate sex addict looking to make God cry in aisle 3 with his sinful purchases. Degenerate sex addict in aisle 3, please." So that's anxiety producing enough, and then you stand there and wait for 30 fucking minutes waiting for someone to show up until you realize no one's coming to help you. But you are so full of shame that you end up standing there for another 20 minutes just hoping to God they even notice you standing in the aisle. And then you're forced to re-click that fun little button, and once again, degenerate sex addict in aisle 3. So yes, buying things in a store nowadays is a quaint notion that no one really does, but that does not to say that online shopping is any better. It's almost as bad nowadays. I mean, when you think of online shopping, what do you think? First thing, Amazon, easy. You can shop the endless corridors of the Amazon store for literally anything. Just type a random word and a random adjective in the Amazon search bar, something will come up. Fluffy dildo, there it is. Wet poker chip. If you could think of it, Amazon will sell it. Hell, they even plan on selling Hyundai cars later this year, which is honestly kind of cool. I like that. I'm not going to a car dealership for the rest of my life. Fuck those things. When Amazon first got going, it was a great place to find relatively cheap products that were not the best in quality, but they got you to where you needed to go. HDMI cord, there you go. Dawn dish soap, it'll be at your house tomorrow morning. But now, it's just a place where shitty Chinese drop sellers go to fill up this search bar with as much garbage as possible to ruin the shopping experience of everyone else. So if you don't want to get makeshift garbage from China, why not get makeshift dog shit from your neighbor? Let's talk about Etsy. Some of you might remember a video I did a few years ago about buying spells on Etsy. And although I won't be talking about that exact type of purchase on this website, it just goes to show the kind of dog shit you can really get away with selling on a website such as this. Etsy is like going to your local punk flea market. It's an intersection of alternative folks, amateur arts and crafts, and dork mentally ill culture. Sure, you could buy 5,000 twist ties for a nickel on Amazon, but on Etsy you could buy something made by a human's hand, something more meaningful, like this disturbingly realistic Kirby doll for $14.50. Available for purchase. Or how about a sculpture of a finger that looks like a hot dog for $47? It's all there. It's all there ready to be purchased. Just put it in your cart. So we've got two types of dog shit currently on the internet. Mass-produced faulty products with the promise of savings, and just insane personalized art that's keeping struggling art students housed. So make your decision. But what if we're looking for a drop in quality in order to save on price, but you're also looking to buy an outfit that will fall apart after one cycle in the wash? Well, might I introduce to you Shein, or Sheen, or Shine? I don't know, I'm gonna say Shein. Now, personally, I've never purchased anything from this website, so I don't travel the internet fashion world that much. However, in the time I was not paying attention, this website Shein had become the largest fashion retailer in the world. The brand apparently caters to younger shoppers with incredibly low prices on garments made dirt cheap in China. And you know that clothing was being made by full-grown adults getting paid a fair wage, right? We're not funding childhood slavery. And also, I think the clothing this website makes is stupid. I think it looks dumb. Sorry if I'm yucking your yum, but I mean, any dude who buys this clothing from Shein 100% looks like a try-hard mega church pastor who cheats on his wife. I mean, the girl stuff off the website is cute, I guess. I don't know. I don't know much about female fashion. But once again, the quality is dog shit. It's gonna fall apart, and everything either smells like peanut butter or weird harmful chemicals. But that doesn't stop Shein. Actually, they're ahead of the curve on this shit. Shein lists between 2,000 and 10,000 new items on its site daily. I don't even think you can call that fast fashion. It's light speed fashion, which is great because whenever an item doesn't sell, they just throw it in a landfill. There's gonna be a nice little slip dress in a landfill for years to come. And also, the fashion industry accounts for 10% of global carbon emissions, and washing your clothes made of that synthetic plastic shit that they use sends 500,000 tons of microfibers into the ocean each year. But at this point, let's just stop thinking about the future, okay? Let's give up. Everyone hold hands, kumbaya, get naked, start having sex, start doing drugs. There's no fix to this, so you might as well wear a nice little ball gown to the end of the world. That's all I have time for today. I would love to talk about more dog shit that's going on in the shopping world around us, but I'm on a tight schedule right now because if I don't drop ship those 10,000 knockoff skim dresses on Amazon by 12 p.m., I'm gonna have to get rid of my entire inventory. Like, comment, and subscribe. New videos every Saturday, sometimes Wednesday. The world is a nightmare. I cannot wake up. Just buy Levi jeans. Dude, they never go wrong. Everyone looks good in Levi's, and my ass looks fantastic. I'm not gonna turn around, but you can believe it.